California. Harmontown is now in session. Spencer Crittenden, everybody. Spencer. And the mayor of Harmontown, Dan Herman.
All right, is the 4-year-old gone?
What did I miss last week, Dan?
A 4-year-old. And so here's the thing about parenting. Just don't involve me. I do it from the back of the room because, like, as Spencer points out, little kids, they need to pee and poop and stuff.
They got tiny bladders at sub-point A1. Like, there's many points we could go into, but just bladders alone...
I thought you knew way more than you're supposed to about prepubescent digestive systems.
Let me tell you about...
At C.A1,
at
like you're a chiropractor
B
zeroing...
sub-2, that's where their bladders really just explode in size.
I have a question. I was just listening to an audio yesterday in my car. When she sat back down, did she start crying?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
she started crying before she sat back down.
Because we hooked her on that fucking Hollywood stage magic, man. She got a taste of it. She's got nothing to compare it to. She doesn't. We created a child star.
But when you gave her a chance,
she's going to be knocking over liquor stores.
When you gave her a chance, when she had a chance to speak, she was like, "Yeah."
Look, man.
She was being a refusenik. And then she got back in her seat and she cried. She goes, "I fucking blew my chance."
But honestly, she just cried because she was sitting up on stage and she liked it. And I know exactly how that feels. Like, I would love to not, you know, like I was the little kid in his pajamas that would come out in the living room. And I'm sure it's Los Angeles. It's, you know, probably half of the audience or more. It's like was the kid in the family that was like, look at me. And it's like, feels good when strangers pay attention to you because you know that while they're doing it, your parents can't hit you. It's safe. Yeah. It's like that moment in Texas Chainsaw Massacre when you're flagging down the cop car. It's like nothing bad can happen now. Oh, it's the cop that makes chili out of people.
Also, second question: how old is Timur?
Timur is 16.
Okay, I gotcha. All right, I was trying to visualize him because I can't afford the subscription to our show.
Yeah, love my neighbors. The Bootsons, of course, they humanize me. Of course, I'm all caught up in the Hollywood lifestyle. I'm a cynical person. I'm a Capricorn. I'm hierarchical. I'm patriarchal. I'm self-loathing. I don't smell the roses. I don't notice avocado trees or eucalyptus. I don't. She makes me muffins. Your life is happening right under your nose. And she comes on the podcast and everybody loves her. She wrote a poem for a dead eucalyptus tree. She represents this is real life, man. It's fucking God is in the moment. You're living in the past and the future. You got to keep it real, like your neighbor. And then I was like, thank you so much for doing the show. People love you. You should come back anytime. And she was like, thanks. I have 2 screenplays for you to read. So I didn't have it that wrong.
And her son makes horror mazes for a living now, right? That's a
I think that's pretty interesting. I'd like to check back in with him. I
want to go too.
Because teenagers have a notoriously small attention span. Like you're not supposed to. If you get into something when you're like 12, you're still into it when you're 16.
Right.
It makes you neither a hero nor a villain, but it makes you noteworthy. I want to check in with that guy.
Have you ever gone through one of these horror mazes, or you just heard them from across the fence?
I hear whatever he plays on a loop. It's about a 30-second loop that goes for about a month and a half.
Do you, on a scale of 1 to 10, just by guessing from meeting him and hearing the sounds, how spooktacular do you think they are?
I don't know. I can't. I have to imagine a cheap haunted house is a scarier haunted house. You've got less restrictions. I've been on the Batman ride and the American Eagle at Six Flags Great America in Illinois. The Batman ride, they strap you in. I've used this as a metaphor for things. There's something less scary about having control totally taken from you by a corporation. It's like, you're strapped in. Like, worst case scenario is this thing just kind of explodes and it's no one's fault. But when you go on the American Eagle, the world's oldest roller coaster, which is just part of the psychological, this is just a mind fuck. Like it's the world's oldest roller coaster. You're like, what? It's made out of made out of driftwood. And it's like that washed over from Coney Island that was already used for a worse roller coaster that fell apart and that floated over to found its way to the Great Lakes. And they built a roller coaster out of it. And they strap a little jump rope across your lap and ask you to hold it real tight. And the reason that's terrifying is because you can't let go of your sense of accountability. Terror, and I think this maybe could be thematic to our guest tonight. Like I think a big part of terror is, how are you supposed to know when you're really in trouble? And can you see death coming? And if you do, what are you supposed to do? Like if a roller coaster starts to go wobbly, is it going to be my fault if I die because I didn't blah, blah, blah? Are the people going to be watching me on a 4chan video, like watching my head fly and going like, look at the dick in the back, doesn't even move?
I think it's certainly not your responsibility once that thing gets rolling.
That's what my therapist would say. That's probably not what the theme park people would say. If you can blame a kid for getting eaten by a fucking alligator at Disneyland, Jesus Christ, the ghost of that kid was more vilified than Richard Nixon, because God forbid a fucking corporation admit they had anything to do with a fucking alligator. Fuck you. It's so fucking. And it's not Disney that I'm mad at. Disney is a system. Its job is to not have a heart or a brain or a soul. Its job is to fucking keep existing. We have systems like that in place, like the alphabet and medicine that we're very glad aren't like only continued by someone's passion every day. So yeah, of course a fucking feelingless system should just keep going, but that's why we have to be on our shit, just to have a thing. Maybe we could make a new law that says like you don't have to, it doesn't open you, it's not admissible in court if you say sorry about the alligator. If the president has to visit a flood, otherwise he gets yelled at, like you don't care about no flood, well, somebody visit the fucking just say you're sorry. The kid was like, wait, what? It said don't go over there.
Was the alligator?
It said don't go over there.
Was the alligator on the Disney property?
Oh, the alligator was on. That was a primetime alligator.
Yeah. Where? Like, what part of the park was the
Mickey Mouse hat on.
No, he didn't have a Mickey Mouse.
Man-made, but in an area where guests were supposed to keep out.
Was it part of the Animal Kingdom part of the park?
It was part of the Gators.
No swimming, and
yeah.
the kid went swimming anyway.
Well, I mean, okay.
it.
It says no swimming, but okay. Here's some other places you're not supposed to go in Disneyland. The cash register. You think they have more than signs keeping you out of those fucking things?
Underground.
They'll fucking cattle prod you. You try to stick your hand in the till. Don't. Who cares if there was a goddamn? I don't care. It's what are the tickets to that place? $8,000. The kid probably had to choose between college and Disneyland before it could speak. They're like, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to make this choice of like jangling a keychain with Mickey Mouse on it and holding up one of those hats that I'd know the name of if I went to college.
I went to
mortar and pestle. What are those things called? Mortarboard hat.
Yeah. Mortar and pestle. It's called a mortar and pestle. That's where you learn how to.
You don't know, Mikey, but you're making a choice. You'll like live in the moment or be an adult with a stake in our workplace. And the kid's like, I don't know. That mouse looks like so appealing on an instinctive level that for some reason it's exempt from fucking basic copyright law. Didn't that thing become public domain in like fucking 1990? And then it was like, obviously that doesn't count. That doesn't count. Mickey Mouse can't become public domain just because it's older than fucking Huck Finn. That's not what we meant when we said that. We didn't mean that.
Is Dennis Hopper still alive, or if anybody we know that can do a perfect Dennis Hopper impression, I want to hear somebody reread what you just said as Dennis Hopper.
Because his mind, man, and his mind.
Is Mickey Mouse a good mouse? No.
You think you're going on vacation, man? You're going into a slaughterhouse.
Yes.
Who's on the ride, okay? The kids or the fucking animals?
When we get into,
that didn't sound like
when we
it
get
at
into
all.
Frontierland, Tomorrowland's gonna make Fantasyland look like Critter Country, man.
Critter Country.
Critter Country. They ran out of names to call lands.
Okay.
Critter
Well,
Country.
I didn't finish my thought, but I know I've already harped on this, but I just want to finish that thought. It's not Disney that did or didn't do anything wrong. It's the people in the comment sections, as always. Stop siding with a fucking inhuman system. It doesn't need your help. If someone falls off a cliff while playing Pokemon Go, it's a tragedy. A guy died. You don't have to make a fucking point about your priorities. It's like you're like pallbearing the American dream, you pieces of shit. You put on these masks and you get on the internet and you get. What is it? Cricket sound effects?
Somebody's phone ring is crickets, which is rude for two reasons.
It's the bad place to.
It's bad. It's bad for a lot of things.
Well, there might be an.
Turn your phones off, but if it's on, make your phone ring laughter.
Yeah, don't. I might forget to turn my phone off, so just in case I do, I'll do a fail-safe here. My new ringtone, you suck. There. Whew. Now I'm protected.
I'm going to turn my phone on and make it foghorn.
All right, so I don't need to talk about any of this other stuff. You just found out that what's happening? Okay, well just you keep it in your pants, buddy. He said Dennis Hopper. You meant because you wanted to remind me we were talking about Dennis Hopper. Okay, I'm very sorry, but you're
Are you saying that you can do a great Dennis Hopper impression?
I already did.
You did?
For Blue Velvet.
Let's hear it.
Let's hit the fucking road!
That sounds a little bit more like Bill Paxton from Aliens.
I'm just afraid. Don't put a nickel in that side of the room anymore. It's like that guy. The first thing he said was you were kind of siding on the alligator side. You were like you brought up the sign. You were like into the sign. You're like, oh, it said no swimming. So of course, if an alligator eats you, you deserve it. And then someone over there with the fucking cricket phone, and then back to you with this side of the room. Just trouble, you know. Just trouble. Just. I know. There's some good people over
Spencer,
there.
come sit over with me.
Nah, I'm good.
Just kidding.
Hey, Spencer, I thought you did a bang-up job comptrolling last
Oh,
year.
yeah.
You had a lot of shit in your plate. There was children and
There was, I really.
I think
didn't
Cameron
do much
Esposito just said,
about it.
"Fuck it." Like she got 2 sentences into the haunted house story, and she goes, "I want to go be with my wife."
Cameron was like, "No, I can stay." And plug my show, and then the Rio's like, "Are you sure? I'm gonna go, and we're married." She's like, "No, I can stay. Hey, I came late. Maybe I'll leave late." And then like, okay, so about this haunted house, she's like, "You know what? The oven is on right now." Can't blame her.
I was 5 seconds away from doing the same thing.
Yeah.